Let's begin. Today is the 30th day of the second month in the 9th year of Channel Group, April 11, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. 천진, 장봉님께 경배 바로 let us recite 가정맹세.
가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상천국과 천상천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
For our opening prayer, let us welcome the PhilJAC Education Department Director, Reverend Roy Karumba.
Join me in my prayer. Good morning to you, our dear loving heavenly parents, our true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Today, April 11, 2027, the second month and the 30th day of the 8th year of Chonel Group. We come to you, Father, in this early morning, offering our gratitude to you and to our two parents for always guiding us, leading us in a way that we can be able to fulfill our purpose. You've created us as your children, and we want to give joy and happiness to you and to our true parents. But because of the fall, Father, you've been suffering. We are suffering also. Throughout history, you've been sending your central figures that through them, you can impart your words to all your lost children. Throughout history, you've been longing that all your children can go back to your bosom. You've been educating us, Father, that through your words, we can be able to understand your heart and fulfill our responsibility to go back to you as our heavenly parents. This time in the era of our true parents, you give us the highest truth, and every day we need to learn, Father, so that we will know how we can be able to fulfill our responsibilities. We are so grateful that through this morning devotion, we can be educated, Father. Today again, we'll be hearing your words that will guide us, Father, in our life, especially throughout this day and throughout the weeks and days to come. May that your words today will be given by our national leader, Reverend Angelo Halog, can be our inspirations, can be our guide, that we can be able to fulfill our responsibility and completely unite with our true mother, who is your central figure in our time. Father, thank you for this very day. We pray that through this virtual platform, we can reach out all brothers and sisters throughout the world, all people throughout the world. This is the quickest way how we can educate people throughout the world. I pray that truly we can just completely unite and fulfill our responsibilities. Thank you for this day. May this day would be a fruitful day for each one of us. We'd like to report and offer this prayer in my name, Roy Karumba, Kiko Maihara, Central Blessed Family. Adieu.
Let us now have our individual prayers. At this point, brothers and sisters, leaders and elders of the movement, let us have our morning greetings to heavenly parents and to parents, to our leaders, elders, and to everyone. Good morning, heavenly parents and to parents. Good morning, Reverend Hori, our Vice Presidents, Dr. Julius Malikdame and Reverend Ronnie, and all our leaders in the Philippines, in field job, in Korea, and elsewhere in the world, and elders and brothers and sisters. Welcome to our 70th morning devotion. Today's morning devotion is hosted by the Philippine Field Job Blessed Community Organization from the land of the rising sun. Now let us hear the Hundok reading for today by our second generation, Rio Gingayan.
Morning, Heavenly Parent and True Parents, to all leaders and our beloved brothers and sisters. Today our reading will be from the Mother of Peace. Okay. Chapter 9, God's Kingdom in Our Midst, continuation. Many people suppose that Father and Mother Moon are wealthy. The truth is we have never owned a house, a car, anything. I'm sure no one has been as thrifty as my husband and I. How can we possibly eat good food and sleep in comfort while knowing that missionaries are working through the night at home and abroad? We direct that all donations from church members be used for the poor through building schools and other projects. We have established businesses around the world, fisheries, machine tool plants, pharmaceutical companies, newspapers, hotels, and more. Just in Africa, our members build schools in Senegal, Mozambique, and Zambia, a school for the handicapped in Lagos, Nigeria, an orphanage in Natitingu, Northern Benin Republic, clinics in Cotonou, Benin, and Nigeria Cross River State, a sausage factory in Lusaka, Zambia, a hamburger franchise in Cote d'Ivoire, an agricultural school, and a food processing factory in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and a farm in Lusaka, Zambia. We never focus on making a profit. Our movement's investment was to benefit the host nations, create jobs, and improve society. We endured hunger because we knew there were people who were hungrier. We should not be indebted to heaven. People who follow the providential path while coveting material things violate heavenly law and bring sorrow to their parents. Life is like running a marathon without knowing when it will end. A truly successful life is not powered by money, position, or authority. It is powered by true love. True love is a mother breastfeeding when she is going hungry. That is the greatest love of all. Love is why we are here, how we should live, and where we are going. No matter the difficulties we face, the answer is to practice absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience. If you reflect on God's heart, you will recognize that the hardships and suffering that you may be going through are nothing compared to His. We have to repent before God. You did not bring yourself into the world. Your life is a gift from God. For us is that we make our lives beautiful and worthwhile. When we believe in our hearts that we are here for our children and family, for our spouse, as well as for all humanity and the entire world, we will find happiness. In all of this, your heart is your closest teacher. In the face of difficulty or confusion, ask your heart. Your heavenly parent who loves you resides deep in your heart. You are designed to hear God's true voice. We all need to hone our ability to hear the true voice of Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother in our hearts. Your heart is your eternal guardian. Heartfelt prayer is the only passageway to God. Through such true prayer, you will receive the grace of God and true parents in even the most destitute and difficult place. The helping hand of that grace leads us on the free and happy path to the kingdom of heaven, the way of rebirth and resurrection. Don't you miss the sea in the course of your daily life? Don't you sometimes get the urge to rush to the beach and jump into the blue ocean? The sea is the symbol of the mother and the icon of motherhood. The deep sea is like a mother's bosom. That's where we want to be. When people stand in front of Niagara Falls in North America or the Iguazu Falls in South America, they cannot hide their amazement and awe. Some turn speechless, overwhelmed by the majestic vista. How did these magnificent waterfalls come to be? They are the unification of innumerable streams, large and small. By the law of nature, small streams flow into greater ones. Streams and rivers start at different places, but have the same destination, one great ocean. A stream that refuses to flow simply dies. In the same way, religion that only cling to their own doctrines and refuse to unite with others dies spiritually and eventually dry up. A religious teaching that explains God's original nature must now emerge. When God created us, his fundamental purpose was to enjoy a parent-child relationship of love with us. We are the children of parents, ultimately of our heavenly parent. Nonetheless, the original sin separated us from our heavenly parent, God. We need to pray about and study what happened. God raised up the people of Israel over the long course of 4,000 biblical years on that foundation, not just of 400 years, but of 4,000 years. He sent his first son, Jesus, of whom he could say, "This is my only begotten son." Nonetheless, Jesus' family and the people of Israel could not fulfill their responsibility. Not only his family, but even his disciples turned their backs. No one was ready to give their life for him. Only a thief on the cross to his right as he faced death testified to Jesus. No one on this earth, not even Christian believers, understood the of pathos of Jesus' history. Jesus is God's mediator, sent as our true parent to give rebirth and resurrection, and guide us to become God's true children. History records 2,000 years of human suffering since the cross, and it came because those to whom Jesus was sent did not attend him, but who suffered who suffered the most. Our heavenly parent feels everything we are going through 1,000 times more intensely than we do. When children suffer, parents suffer more. Adieu.
Gio. Thank you very much, Rio, for reading that beautiful part of True Mother's memoir. Now, we are going to proceed to our next part, the 10 points of gratitude to be shared by our own Miss Jewel Granada.
Good morning, everyone. This is Jewel Granada, PhilJob second generation member, daughter of June and Itoko Granada. I am glad to have a chance to do 10 points of gratitude in front of everyone. To begin with, Heavenly Parents, true parents, thank you for leading us with love overflowing. I would like to thank our leaders, Reverend Hori, Reverend Julius Malikdem, Reverend Leo Angelo Halog, Mr. Ronnie, and Mr. Jun Humawan. I appreciate all your effort and dedication, and to all our hardworking brothers and sisters. Heavenly Parents, true parents, thanks to your love and guidance, I was born and enlisted in an international family in the Philippines and Japan. I attended Sunwa Academy School every year for 2 weeks as an elementary school student, and I received a lot of love from heavenly parents and true parents through my school classmates and teachers in Antipolo and my parents. Thank you very much indeed. I was impressed and in awe by True Mother's love and concern to all Philippine families. True Mother built school buildings, dormitory, and gymnasium in Tanay, where I used to visit my relatives with my parents when I was young. After graduating from elementary school, my older brother, Jonathan, studied middle and high school at Sunwa Academy School. Thanks to the warm love of the Philippine members, he was recognized as an excellent English speaker and exempted from the English test for university entrance exams in Japan. He was able to graduate from a university with a lot of English classes. Thanks to the excellent education of Sunwa Academy School. It is described in Mother of Peace Memorial, page 67 to 68, Sonjong Junior High School, where True Mother attended junior high school, is now Sonjong Junior High School. After graduating from elementary school in Japan, I was able to receive training with second generation brothers and sisters for 7 years at Seongjong Junior High School with the guidance of true parents. I had a privilege to meet and be friends with some true parents' grandchildren and was able to meet Yonanim, their mother, in person. I was surprised that my Tongil Mudo instructor was a missionary from the Philippines. He was also happy that my father was also from the Philippines. I attended one of the seminar workshops in Thailand when I was 16 years old. I was so happy and emotional to meet my friends that I met long time ago in Sunwa Academy in Antipolo. Lastly, I am so grateful to enter and be accepted Yonsei University as freshman, one of the three top university in Korea. Currently, I am staying at Carp House close to the university, and my goal is to make 100 friends during my first year. Thank you to everyone who listened to my 10 points of gratitude. The second generation living in Korea, including myself, cooperate with each other even though we haven't seen our parents for a long time because of COVID-19. I pray in Korea that the wonderful Philippine and PhilJap members will be protected and guided by heaven, and that they will be able to continue to play an active role in advancing the providence not only in Philippines but also throughout Asia Pacific region and the world. Thank you very much and have a wonderful and blessed Sunday.
Thank you very much, Jewel, for that wonderful testimony experience of your life. We are so lucky to have you here, and we know your parents, Itoko and Jun, and they are so loving God and true parents. So, and we are also thankful that you have met our Tung Ilmodo missionaries in Korea. There are 4 of them. So, moving on, brothers and sisters, let us hear the main message of inspiration and internal guidance from our heavenly parent and true parents through our national leader, Reverend Leo Angelotti Halog.
Offering song.
Okay, sorry. There's an offering song by our by our blessed family in Nie, and this is the family of Mayo Tyra Mayo family. お願いします。
I find the love for me, darling, just dive put on my knee. I found the girl, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love. Now we only words. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your eyes to lie on, and in your eyes, your heart and mine. Baby, I never seen in the dark.
Thank you very much, Mayo family, for your beautiful musical ensemble. We are so happy to see all of 6 of you. We are so glad that you can sing that song very well. We are now moving to the next part, which is the main message and inspiration to be given by our national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo T. Halog.
Thank you very much, our Professor Rafi Ablong. Thank you very much po. I would like to greet first our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Good morning, Heavenly Parents and True Parents. To all our leaders, our blessed and families, brothers and sisters, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ohayo gozaimasu. Thank you very much to all our field job families. Just seeing you gives us so much inspiration. Seeing your big growing families, our second generation, really wonderful, truly inspiring to see. Really, Japan and Philippines, mother and daughter nation is completely one. Seeing your wonderful families, and really our second generation, they're really growing very well. As filial sons and daughters of Heavenly Parents, thank you very much for hosting our Hunduki today, and really I'm really inspired with also the testimony of our second generation, the daughter of Kuya Jun and Itoko-san, Sister Jewel, who is studying now in Korea, and also the wonderful song that was given by Mayo family. Maraming salamat po. Yeah, happy Sunday to everyone. Today is Sunday. Today is the last day of the second month in the 9th year of Channel Group. So tomorrow will be third month. We'll be welcoming the third month in the 9th year of Channel Group. Really, days are passing so fast. Yeah, so today I would like to share with you today is our 70th day of our National Morning Devotion. Really, thank you very much for joining every day. And together we are learning and attending our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. So for the past days, we are talking about heaven. Today I would like to share, let's study together also about hell. Yeah, so while I'm also studying this topic of Father, I think also this is important to understand for people. Of course, we are really fortunate because of our beloved true parents. Heavenly Parents' goal is to completely eliminate hell, and true parents' goal, because this is not part of God's creation. It only appeared because of selfishness of human beings, because of the fall. Hell was created. So Heavenly Parents wants to eliminate hell. So anyway, it's also good for us to really understand about this topic. So let's study together Father's guidance and explanation about hell. So True Father said, hell is a place where everyone is totally self-centered. Hell is a place where everyone is totally self-centered, each insisting that he or she is the best and highest. With that attitude, they argue and fight continually. So in hell, Father said, everyone is insisting that they are the best, they are the highest. That's why fighting is continuous, unending, unending war, unending conflict. So this is the situation in hell. That's why when we look at our society also today, we could see an ending war, an ending conflict from the smallest level, in the individual, in the family, going to the highest, to the nations, to the world. So we can say that we are living in hell. That Satan is really the god of this world. So this is hell actually. It's not when we die, but even seeing the situation in the society, if this will not end, then it will continue. Human beings are living in hell if fighting and conflict will not be stopped. Father said it is the realm of Satan's love. Hell is the realm of Satan's love. Satan adores only hatred, jealousy, division, and destruction. That is why only these things fill Satan's realm. These characteristics of Satan manifest as war. So as people are just thinking about themselves, no one wants to, wants to be lower than the other. Gusto palagi become number one, become the best. So this is the situation. So Father said, hell is the realm of Satan's love, where Satan adores only hatred, jealousy, division, and destruction, because only people are thinking about themselves. They don't care about others. They hate other people. They always jealous. They always wanted division. They always want to seclude, themselves. So it creates division and eventually destruction. So Father said that is why only these things fill Satan's realm. These characteristics of Satan manifest as wars. That's why all these things, the main result is bigger conflict. That's why we have these wars that's happening because of this selfishness, and then this love that is centering on Satan that only manifests, hatred, jealousy, division, and then eventually destruction. True Father said in hell, the yearning for love is felt even more strongly. Hell is full of people who are proud of their power, their money, and themselves. A person's original mind desires to love and be loved and to pursue goodness. The people living in hell do just the opposite and face continual conflict. Yet being in hell does not remove the human desire to be loved. Actually, the yearning for love is felt even more strongly. So this is our original mind's desire, Father said, is to love and be loved. This is how God, human beings, is created, even though we are living in this hellish world, right? In this world full of conflict. But it's still our original mind's desire is to love and to be loved. Even in hell, Father said, the people living in hell do just the opposite and face continual conflict, yet being in hell does not remove the human desire to be loved. Even though people are in hell, 99.9% living in hell, but still these people, still their desire to love and be loved is always there, even more stronger, Father said, even more stronger. That's why even people are living in hell, even how pitiful this society we are living in. Even though this is full of conflict, it's still human nature, original mind of human beings, still desire for love and desire to be loved, right? And give love. That's why there is hope. Father said there is hope in this world despite the situations that we are seeing, because of our original nature that comes from God, right? To love and to be loved. Because of this original nature, because of our original mind, there is really clear hope. That's why despite the situation in our society this time, despite the situation of our nation, despite the situation of the world, this natural yearning is not, is always with us. That's why there is really hope. Aju, this is really important. That's why Father said, those who are in hell, even, this desire is even more stronger. Even more stronger. Father said, anything is possible with love. Otherwise, nothing is possible. What then will you do in the afterlife? Will you eat? Yes, you will eat. But it should be centered on love. Those who do not love cannot open their mouths, no matter how they try. That is the law. If you love only yourself and not the whole, you may try to eat, but your mouth will not open. If you try to eat with chopsticks, the chopsticks will swerve sharply to the right or the left. It is a miserable existence. In the spirit world, anything is possible with love, but only with love. Otherwise, nothing is possible. So this is the reality when we go to the spiritual world. Father said it is really a miserable existence when one goes to hell. So even though you want to eat, Father said when you go to hell, when you go to the spiritual world, and then you cannot open your mouth. When you use chopstick, the chopstick will swerve sharply to the right or to the left. So really it is a miserable existence, Father said. So in the spiritual world, Anything is possible with love. Anything you can do, whatever you desire, everything will going to come and be with you. Father said, right, as we studied heaven, really amazing place. But sabi ni Father dito, otherwise, outside of love, without love, nothing is possible. So this is completely opposite with love. So in heaven, with love, centering on love, you can do anything you want, anything you desire. That, it will be possible. You will going to have it. You're going to experience it. But in hell, this is completely opposite. Nothing is possible. Nothing is possible. You cannot do anything there. In hell, only suffering, difficulties, and unimaginable suffering and situation one can experience if someone goes to hell. This is the terrible, experience. Really, that's why Heavenly Parent wants to eliminate hell. If we are suffering in physical world, we don't know 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times the suffering that we're going to experience when people goes to hell. Cannot imagine. Nothing is possible there. That's why we heard from the guidances before, especially Demonim, if only human beings can see the reality of hell, people will not commit sin anymore, right? Because, we cannot imagine, that's what Father today is saying. So without love, really nothing is possible when people go to hell, right? Really cannot imagine the suffering that people are experiencing in hell. That's why how much Heavenly Parent is suffering continuously. Can you imagine, sometimes if you have your son or daughter, minsan nasaktan nga lang yung anak mo ng konti, so painful in your heart, right? So cannot imagine the pain in the heart of the parent. Can you imagine Heavenly Parent that continuously, suffering because of human beings suffering in hell? Cannot imagine the pain. Cannot imagine the suffering that, people, brothers and sisters, are experiencing in hell. So how much Heavenly Parents is being tortured every moment because of this kind of experience of people in hell. That's why Heavenly Parents wants to eliminate hell. And just, here in the physical world, how can we make this world a world of love so that no one will go to hell anymore, right? So Father said, how did they end up living there? In the spirit world, most people dwell in various levels of hell. How did they end up living there? Some failed to practice filial piety as befits good sons and daughters. Some had the mission of patriots, yet did not fulfill their mission and live for the sake of their country. Some were chosen to become saints and live for the sake of the world, but they did not attune themselves to that rhythm and hence failed to reach that level. So people end up in hell when, Father said, they failed to fulfill their basic responsibilities, becoming sons and daughters of Heavenly Parent, becoming sons and daughters of their parents. And then Father said here, some people were given missions to become patriots, right, of their nation, but they also failed to fulfill that mission. And then some were chosen to become saints and sages, right? But also they failed to fulfill their mission. So what happened? What happens? They end up in hell. So Father said, we're supposed to live attuning ourselves to that rhythm, but we failed to reach that level. So now everything is very clear for us, our responsibilities that we need to fulfill. Heavenly Parents have called us, right? Fulfilling the three great blessings, our main mission, our main responsibility is starting from there. And then going up, liberating all people, liberating our nation, the world, liberating Heavenly Parent. See, this is the mission that was given to us, right? So if people fail to fulfill this, then where they will going to end up? Especially if people cannot receive the blessing, we are really lucky now because of true parents, right? Because of the blessing, our destiny has changed. Our destiny has changed. True parents, took full responsibility. Once you are blessed family, of course, we are still living with, a life, still a lot of fallen natures, trying our best every day, improving ourselves every day. But, because of the blessing that we have received from true parents, this completely changed our destiny. we cannot, many people doesn't really realize and understand how precious the blessing is, right? We don't really realize. But when we go to the spiritual world, we will going to see clearly how precious this blessing that true parents have given us. This blessing is truly priceless. This is truly priceless. We cannot pay this. That's why we are really lucky. That's why the blessing that we have received, not only meant for us, we have to share this to all people, right? That's why we are doing now Tribal Messiah, sharing the blessing to all people. That's why maybe this time many of us doesn't really realize how precious the blessing is. But the blessing completely changed our destiny, right? That's why Father today talking about hell. So how people end up going to hell? Failing to fulfill their responsibilities, right? Or becoming, mature man and woman, receiving the blessing, fulfilling their responsibilities, becoming patriots, becoming saints, sons and daughters of God. That's why Heavenly Parents is now, through True Parents, is guiding us so that all human beings can fulfill their responsibility so that no one will go to hell anymore. If people will not, can fulfill their responsibilities, no one will go to hell anymore. And then one day, hell will be completely eliminated. All people will go to heaven naturally, right? Once human beings shed their physical bodies and fulfill their responsibility, naturally, people will go to the kingdom of heaven. Aju, this is what God is really working for, eliminating hell completely. That's why we are being guided now directly by our beloved True Mother so that all of us can fulfill our responsibilities. Aju, Father said the accusations in the spirit world are more fearful than on earth. The accusations we could face in the spirit world are far more fearful than the severest persecution on earth. Because I know that earthly persecution, no matter how heavy, is easier to endure than the accusations in the spirit world. I am clear about the path I should go. That's why sometimes we avoid persecution. We avoid accusations, right, in the physical world. But what Father is saying here, the accusations we could face in the spirit world are far more fearful than the severest persecution on earth. So even though we could think, what is the most the most severe persecution and accusation on earth that we can receive while we are alive, we cannot compare this, Father said, with the accusations in the spiritual world. We cannot. So the accusations there is far more fearful. If only people can understand this, right? Father said, because I know that earthly persecution, no matter how heavy, is easier to endure than the accusations in the spirit world. I am clear about the path I should go. That's why if only people can understand this. So isipin na natin lahat yung pinakaayaw natin, all the things that we want to avoid in the physical world. But still, that cannot be compared when we go to the spiritual world, when someone goes to hell. That's why if only people can understand this, people will surely live their lives well in accordance to God's will. We will surely go to the right path no matter what. Aju? Father said, heaven is a world of light and hell is a world of darkness. Heaven is a world of light and hell is a world of darkness. You may have enjoyed your earthly life, but once you arrive in hell, the darkness will quickly overcome you. It is like drinking. For a while, you are in high spirits, but later you feel regret as if your conscience tells you it was the wrong thing to do. It will also ask, where are you going? People who suffer continually from pangs of conscience belong to the world of darkness. If only their conscience were pleased with them, then they would display the original nature within themselves to relate to the world of light. So people doesn't want actually dark places, right? We always want, good place, a place of light. Gusto natin palagi, ayaw natin yung mga madidilim na lugar. Actually, so Father is saying here, hell is a world of darkness. You cannot see anything there. Really completely dark. So that's why Father is saying here, you may have enjoyed your earthly life, but once you arrive in hell, the darkness will quickly overcome you. It is like drinking. For a while, you are in high spirits, but later feel regret as your conscience tells you it was the wrong thing to do. Continuously, pangs of conscience. That's why, sabi ni Father dito, if only their conscience were pleased with them, then they would display the original nature within themselves to relate to the world of light. So sabi ni Father, people who suffer continually from pangs of conscience belong to the world of darkness. Kaya that's why our conscience, this is the ones that we can know through our conscience, through our original mind. That's why sometimes, when you started to close your eyes, meditate, and, empty yourselves, you will going to feel something in your conscience. If we are doing something wrong, immediately our conscience will tell us. That's why this is the ones correcting us from time to time, so that when we go to the spiritual world, then we will not go to this world of darkness, right? That's why it's very, very important how to really listen from our conscience, our original mind. All people doesn't want to go to the dark, right? So that's why we have to really listen continually and really listen carefully about what our conscience is telling us and really follow absolutely our conscience. True Father said God did not create hell. This world is in chaos. How about the spirit world? The same confused people live there. Therefore, the spirit world must likewise be in chaos. It is logical. A thief with a criminal record cannot just drop his bad habits when he crosses over to the spirit world. There too, he would be a thief, wanting to own things without making effort to earn them. People like him are unable to fit in with heaven. So they went off and formed the realms of hell. God did not create hell. Human beings formed hell. Do people design their new house to be a garbage dump? No. They build a nice house, but after living in it for a while, it becomes like a garbage dump. Hell is like that. So hell is something that human beings created. Like Father is comparing like someone, you created a house, a beautiful house in the beginning. But as you live your life, you end up making that house like a garbage dump. So human beings is the one who created hell. It is not God. This is not even part of God's creation. God only, created good things. And God is, eventually thinking about heaven. Heaven in the physical world and heaven in the spiritual world. This is only what God is really, longing and desiring for people to live in joy and happiness together with our heavenly parent, centering on parent and child relationship. Only goodness, only joy and happiness. This is what God created. But because of the selfishness of human beings, because of our first human ancestors thinking only of themselves, they created hell. So that's why now this place where we are living in, right? That's why Father is saying here, what kind of life you are living here? People who are, like, for example, thief. When they go to the spiritual world, when they cross over, Father said, they cannot just easily change. They cannot just change easily their habits. So whatever, how we are living our life here, when we go to the spiritual world, we will live the same life. That's why if we already started to live, life of true love, naturally when we go to the spiritual world, we will live more love. We can give more love there. When we started to live life of true love in the physical world, Aju, that's why what we just need to do here is to really develop our heart of love, living for the sake of others, living for the sake of love, and then naturally when we go to the spiritual world, we will just continue living the same way. Aju, Aju. Father said there are many different levels in the spirit world. Many people on earth think that there are only two different places, heaven and hell. But in reality, there are many different levels. From very evil places to very good places, heaven is a place of comfort. But life in any of the levels below heaven is difficult and uncomfortable because the people fight each other continually, everyone insisting on their own opinion. Each region is filled with people who are at the same type. So after a while, living there becomes tedious. So that's why there are many levels. Of course, there is heaven, kingdom of heaven. Also, many times it was explained to us there are levels in the spiritual world, right? So Father is saying here, below heaven, already, sabi ni Father dito, Ang heaven lang is the ones that, you know, you can live well and comfortably. You can live in joy and in happiness, but below, heaven is difficult and uncomfortable because the people fight each other continually. Everyone insisting on their own. That's why this heaven is only God's, you know, dream and desire for human beings to go, right? But, you know, down to that, from there, already this was created by human beings. So, iba't ibang level. And then also before we learn for blessed families, we are really lucky, blessed central families. We have different level in the spiritual world. Of course, also we have a lot of difficulties. Meron pa rin tayong mga difficulties. Many also go to the spiritual world, couldn't fulfill their responsibility. But even though, but because they received the blessing, really, we are really so blessed. We cannot imagine. We cannot imagine how amazing to receive the blessing is. Right? That's why this should be as fallen human beings, this should be our greatest dream to receive the blessing. This is like the crossing point of our life, the blessing, right? That's why if only people can understand, even sometimes, even our brothers and sisters, they really doesn't understand deeply the value of the blessing. If only we are thinking about our life in the physical world, really, we cannot understand. Always we have to consider our life after our life in the physical world. If only we are thinking about life after here, really, we have the eagerness to receive the blessing all the time, right? For those who didn't receive the blessing yet. Because this is really the turning point of life. Kaya nga, when we go to the spiritual world, once you are blessed, sabi nga sa atin, with all the educations that we have received, because true parents fully took for full responsibility once you are blessed. Even though, of course, there are brothers and sisters who went there, they are blessed, they couldn't fulfill, but it's still different level yung place natin doon. There is a spiritual world for blessed families, right? Really, but without the blessing, anyone who goes to the spiritual world without the blessing, they go to hell. Different levels. Even how good they are. You know, highest place for those who cannot really receive the blessing is paradise. But maybe 0.1% only going there, only Jesus goes there and the thief. Right? So aside from that, people goes to hell without the blessing. That's why how serious it is actually for us, for brothers and sisters. That's why how serious it is to give the blessing to all people. Right? Otherwise, when people die, most of them goes to hell, and they suffer unimaginably when they die, when they go to the spiritual world. So Father said their lives are forever filled with distrust and anxiety. People who goes to hell. So for example, people who on earth were accustomed to stealing things dwell in a region of the spirit world where people are always suspicious, thinking that everyone around them is looking to steal from them. Their lives are forever filled with distrust and anxiety. Likewise, people who on earth were accustomed to fighting live in a region where fighting goes on continually. So actually, it depends on how people are living their lives. And then when we go to the spiritual world, when we go to hell. So yung mga tao, sabi ni Father, who are, accustomed to fighting. So also when they go to the spiritual world, they live in that region. So na-divide ang hell then, iba't ibang region. People who are stealing, they live in also in the region where all people there are stealing, mga magnanakaw lahat. That's why they are living forever, sabi ni Father doon, filled with distrust and anxiety. Can you imagine that you don't have really peace of mind even in a second? Can you imagine this is a place full of distress and anxiety? So tayo, di ba, dahil sa pandemic, maraming tao nabubuhay ng full of anxiety ngayon because of this pandemic, because of this problem that we are experiencing. Can you imagine in hell forever, continual, this kind of feeling? Cannot imagine, really cannot imagine. That's why Heavenly Parents wants to eliminate hell. That's why if only people can know and understand this, people will start to change their lives, right? Can you imagine just living for 1 hour, 2 hours in a place that, like that? Maybe people who experience to live in prison, right? Or, in the place where you cannot have really peace of mind. You immediately want to leave that place, right? just even for short time you'll be there, you don't want to be there. Can you imagine? People goes to the spiritual world, people goes to hell, lives forever. Can you imagine? Those who doesn't have walang mga relatives na members. Our ancestors, they're lucky because we are here. We could liberate them, right? That's why, can you imagine our ancestors, those who didn't liberate their ancestors yet? Can you imagine our ancestors are living continuously in this kind of environment? And can you imagine? That's why sometimes I cannot really, cannot express what kind of life is that, right? Forever, especially those who doesn't have relatives na mga member. Already thousands of years, they are living in the spiritual world, right? It's still this kind of environment where they are living in, and then they don't know when. Can they, can they be liberated? Can they separate from this kind of environment? That's why I cannot imagine. That's why realizing this, we have to really live life well and really help other people, right? True Father said, people on earth do not realize how frightening the regions of hell are. If you descend further into the lower regions, you come to regions of hell that are suffocating, dark, and scary. They smell horribly, worse than the smell of rotten meat or fish. Deformed figures appear in front of you, biting each other, yelling at each other with hate-filled voices. There's a region filled with burning holes, and in each one, a wrathful person is held fast. The worst regions are reserved for those who were sexually corrupt or who committed suicide. They seem to be filled with snakes, but on close examination, each snake is an ugly, deformed human being, slithering about. People living on the earth do not realize how frightening the regions of hell really are. They would not be able to stand it even for a minute. That's why kapag ma-realize lang po talaga ng mga tao what is really hell, people will surely change the way they live their life. Kaya nga, hindi kasi nare-realize ng tao, sabi ni Father, really divided sa regions in hell, really talagang frightening. The smell is horribly worse than the smell of a rotten meat or fish. So just try to imagine, just binabasa lang natin ito, deformed figures appear in front of you, biting each other, yelling at each other with hate-filled voices. Talagang yung nakakatakot na napapanood natin sa pelikula, even more than that. There is a region filled with burning holes, and in each one, a wrathful person is held fast. Sabi ni Father dito, the worst regions are reserved for those who were sexually corrupt. Kaya nga po, lahat ng scriptures, lahat ng religions, ano ang pinaka-worst na sin? Sexually, sin. Ito talaga yung pinaka-worst. And then, committing suicide. People who have committed suicide, they are in the worst region. So they seem to be filled with the snakes, but on close examination, each snake is an ugly, deformed human being slithering about. So, hindi pala mga snakes yon. When you look closer, sabi ni Father, these are deformed human beings slithering about. They are just like snake slithering about. So this is the reality in the spiritual world. That's why if only people can realize this, people will going to start to change their life. Kaya nga po tayo talaga, our mission is really to educate people, help people, so that they will going to realize. And then they will start to change their life. So that later on, no more will go to hell. Today again, how many people will die again today? Every day, around 55,000 people are dying. Every day. Millions of people are dying each month, each year. So every day, today again, people will going to die, and then most of them will go to hell. So how much painful for our Heavenly Parent. That's why for our Heavenly Parent and true parents, this is like an emergency situation. Every day, as how many people we can save, right? So that when people go to the spiritual world, so once they receive the blessing, their destiny will surely change. Aju? Yeah, that's why this is really the real situation. So Father said, the more sins committed, the darker the color. So from the kingdom of heaven to hell, the various regions of the spirit world have colors of differing hues. The kingdom of heaven is a bright realm, transparent and white. It is without any stain, clean like flawless white jade. But as we descend, the colors become darker and darker and dirtier. First beige, then darker shades of purple. Descending to still lower regions, the color becomes brown, then gray, dark gray, black, and pitch black. The more sins committed, the darker the color. Also, spirits who committed many sins with a certain part of their body show dirtier and darker colors on that part. So this is from Hunjin Nim. So the more sins committed, the more you will be going to the darker places. And then if you use like certain part of your body more to commit sin, then that part of your body became dirtier and darker. That's why for the thief, for example, they always use their hand, to get something that's not their own. Then when they go to the spiritual world, in their place, depends on their sin, they will go to a dark place, and then also that part of their body very dark, very dirty. Their hands we cannot see, maybe this kind of situation. So those who are committed a lot of sexual sin. So their sexual organ, their sexual part is the dirtier and then the darkest. So this kind of situation, that's why human beings doesn't know really the reality. If only people can understand, then people will surely start to change their life. That's why also this education also is really important. That's why in our seminars, after ng mga divine principle or during the divine principle seminar, meron tayong pinapanood doon. Yung sa reality of hell, pinapanood natin, pinapakita natin. If only people can understand. But really, if until these things sink in to their original mind, to their hearts, sometimes people still continue to commit sin. Right? That's why continuous education is really, really important. Really, this is the reality. That's why Heavenly Parents is every day suffering continuously, every moment, every minute, every second. That's why for Heavenly Parent, this is really emergency for true parents, for a beloved true mother. That's why true mother, how many times, how many hours true mother is sleeping. True mother is always, awake, always finding way how to solve this problem. That's why we realize bakit si father 2 hours, 3 hours lang natutulog before. Now even our beloved true mother, even before. Bakit hindi dahil they want to just sleep 2 hours or 3 hours, but because every moment is a state of emergency. True parents, they just need to sleep in order for them to just regain some strength physically, because they have physical body. That's why they need to sleep. But actually every moment is emergency for our Heavenly Parent, for our true parents. Because of this kind of situation, that every moment people go to hell and suffer unimaginably, and then it brings so much pain to our Heavenly Parent, right? That's why every moment is emergency. That's why we as the central families, as brothers and sisters, who knows true parents, who knows the providence living in this most momentous time. That's why for us also is every day also emergency. That's why we are, also every day we are repenting. We couldn't fulfill our responsibility. Every day we are trying our best. Heavenly Parents is giving us another chance every day, every moment as we open our eyes, right? This is another opportunity. We have to really understand how really urgent our task, how urgent, every moment of our life, right? To save people going to hell. That really brings so much pain to our Heavenly Parent, our beloved true parents. That's why when we think about, our life, we just, repent to Heavenly Parent. We don't understand. We didn't understand. It's just still, we are just, doing these many things that, but our major responsibility, sometimes we neglect. We are not fulfilling our major responsibility whom God called us for, right? That's why when we started to think about and reflect every day, people are dying, going to hell, and it's bringing so much pain every day, every moment to our Heavenly Parent. So what I should do? How should I fulfill my responsibility every day, right? As the central families, as people that was entrusted by heaven, this kind of responsibility to help our Heavenly Parent, to help our true parents. No matter what, no one should fail. All the central families should be victorious. And we should really help our Heavenly Parent, our true parents, our true mother in this gigantic task. Father said, people who denied God become wandering spirits. People who denied God on earth are more pitiful than people who starved to death. Those who died of hunger may, depending on their merit, be granted a certain standing in the other world. But atheists have no standing because they deny the spirit world exists. They become wandering spirits, wandering about the spirit world like clouds. Just as clouds gather and produce rain, they gather and create evil influence. They dwell in hell and inflict pains there. So, lahat ng mga atheists, so this time we started to, educate our youth about the Godism. Because these mga communists, they don't believe in God. They deny the spiritual world. So this is the problem. So sabi ni Father, people who deny God become wandering spirits. So sila, they are wandering dito sa physical world. When they go there, also they will be wandering. They don't know what to do. Because they don't know their origin. They don't know God who created them. Right? That's why this is really pitiful. They're more pitiful than people who starve to death, Father said. That's why they are pitiful. That's why here in the physical world, actually they are pitiful. That's why we have to really continue to do our best to educate these people who doesn't know God. That's why we need to introduce to them. That's why True Mother, what True Mother is doing now, introducing our Heavenly Parent to all people, that Heavenly Parent is our parent. Knowing our origin, this is the most fundamental, most important. If you don't know your origin, if you don't know God, you don't know also where to go. You don't know what to do in your life. So you will just be wandering. That's why when people die or wandering because they don't know their root, they don't know Heavenly Parent, they don't know their parents, when they go to the spiritual world, they wander. The same. This is the reality. That's why they are pitiful. They don't have place to go. They don't know. Can you imagine, di ba, kapag feeling mo, kapag pumunta ka sa isang place na parang wala kang lugar doon, di ba? Anong feeling mo? You want to leave immediately. But can you imagine when these people die? Everywhere they go, they are wandering. They don't have a place to go. This is the reality of the spiritual world. That's why knowing and understanding this, we who are being called by Heavenly Parent, we have a big mission we need to fulfill and accomplish while we are alive on earth. In this time until 2027, true parents, Heavenly Parents, wants to completely eliminate hell and really build a world where all people can really live in joy and in happiness, knowing and attending our Heavenly Parent, Aju, so that no one is going to suffer anymore. That's why these all are in our hands. We are the modern saints and sages. We are the sons and daughters of Heavenly Parents. That's why no matter what, we have to fulfill our responsibilities as blessed and our families. The blessing that we have received is not only for us, right? That's why no matter what, we have to invest all our effort, all the things that we have, all the knowledge that we have, all the power that we have, all the material things that we have, everything, all the capabilities we have to use this solely to liberate Heavenly Parent, to liberate true parents, and to liberate and save all mankind. This is what we are called for. Aju, this is our mission as the central families. That's why no matter what, starting from our family building up and then going to becoming heavenly tribal messiahs, becoming Chonbo families, saving our 430 couples, and liberating our ancestors. This is our main mission. And then until all people can recognize our Heavenly Parent, can recognize our true parents, until all people can receive the blessing and be able to become, once again, Heavenly Parents and true parents, sons and daughters, completely eliminating Satan's blood lineage. And then that time, no more will be going to hell. Aju, Aju, and then Heavenly Parents can be completely liberated. Aju, that's why we are really so fortunate people. Let's really do our best to really support our beloved True Mother no matter what. We need to really bring victory in our tribe, in our nation, and in the world. Aju, so let's really appreciate our Heavenly Parents and true parents. Thank you so much. Once again, all our beloved brothers and sisters, may Heavenly Parents' love and blessings always be upon you and your families. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our very much loved national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo Tihalog. I am always amazed by the beauty, systematic organization, and consistency of your devotional presentations. They do not only touch the heart, but also purifies the brain and body, prolongs our life, and helps us accomplish the ideal of true parents. Let us now proceed to the next part, which is sharing of our reflections from brothers and sisters. Let us, we have prepared two field job Chonbo families represented by the husbands. We would like to call on our brother Bal Tubalya, who is based in Nagoya. Brother Bal Tubalya, could you come and share your reflection?
Thank you very much, Brother Rafi. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning, Heavenly Parent and true parents, our leaders, brothers and sisters. I thank for this opportunity to speak with our brothers and sisters. I haven't had a chance to have things like this in the past. That's why I'm very excited to have this. Although it was postponed, it was supposed to be last week. Uh, First, I would like to appreciate the initiative of our leaders, especially our national leader, to have this morning devotion, because it, for me, it really is very effective, and for me, I can feel really the real atmosphere of a heavenly community, where everybody, first, second generation, coming together, offering song of devotion. I can really feel that there is something going on great and good. I think we are on the right way, having this morning devotion. Uh, Going to the topic, my reflection is about hell. I remember when I was young, my mother would just read the Bible for us, talking about evading, escaping, going to hell. She always told us in the reading almost every night that we have to do good, we have to do good like this, you have to follow what is the teaching of Jesus like this. And I think it is a good thing. It was a foundation for me to meet the movement. And when I met the movement, our lecturer, our brothers and sisters, will just say to us, you have to be full time because it's already kingdom of heaven. You have to commit yourself to be full time like this. Otherwise, you go to hell like this. Many times, I wonder that even though there are pronouncement about heaven or hell, but I realize that that the most important, the teachings of Father told us that in order to go to heaven, Father told us the secret is to develop our love or the true love, living for the sake of others. Father has defined the best way to go to heaven. Uh, Nobody wants to go to hell, even the Christian or my friends. When you see in the social media, most of the people, when they greet their loved ones who already departed loved ones, they always say happy birthday, like this, like that. Some in heaven, they always say in heaven, but they do not know how miserable these people when they die without receiving the blessing. The Hondok here that we have just heard just told us, or even the Chongpyong direction. I mean, they told us that in order for our people to go to heaven is to receive the blessing. And I think we have to teach the people, we have to teach our friends like this. And the only way to do this is to witness and do our tribal messiahship. And think tribal messiahship is the key. It is the way to develop our true love, loving people without any condition, just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, non-stop giving. And it is a two-way, I mean, the two branches, like spiritual, liberating, and blessing our ancestors. I felt that this is really absolutely right, because I experience I have spiritual experience when after liberating my ancestors. They helped me a lot, and I didn't see them actually, but some people told me, my relatives, that they can see people at my back, like white people. They told me like this. There are few people. So I really felt that this is reality. When you love your ancestors, they will come to help you like this. And I think this is, I think, I have to tell this, brothers and sisters, to you, that liberating our ancestors is a great thing and the expression of true love. And please, everybody, we have to finish liberating and blessing our ancestors, and also the tribal messiahship. You know, if everybody can do this, if Father said that if there are 12 tribal leaders in a nation, it will change the destiny of the nation. So we have already Chombo families, 66 like this, our Philippine church. And then there are still a lot of applicants, candidates. If we can have more and more and more thousands, we can imagine we can make and build a Chunilyo Philippines. And we can bring everybody to heaven by the merit of the age. Maybe not everybody could have liberated or blessed their ancestors or have the tribal messiahship, but because this tribal messiahship foundation, everybody could benefit what is the gains of the nation. So it is very important that we have to build a nation, not just do it by ourselves, but we have to work as a team. We have to work as a nation like this. I thank you very much for this opportunity. We only have 5 minutes to share. I have a lot of things to share actually, because of the long years that I didn't have the chance to talk. But anyway, thank you so much, and that is my simple reflection. And my point is, doing things like this is both spiritual and ancestral liberation and tribal messiahship is developing our love, our true love, while we are still alive here on earth, because Father said that our spirit world is a world of love, a true love. Yeah, thank you so much, and good morning once again, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our brother Tubalya. Do not worry about the long reflections that you still need to deliver to us, because there's always morning devotion and you can always share. Proceeding to the next part, let us have our Chunbo Philip Tripoli, who is also coming from Central Japan. Brother Philip. お願いします。
Hello,
Yes, okay, go ahead.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I think nobody likes to stay in hell, even the fallen men. Very terrible and very fearful place. Walang gusto magstay do. And I think true parents, true mother taught us how to transform this hell into the kingdom of heaven. So when we imagine every day how many people die every single minute, those people die without knowing the principle. This is God's miserable situation. And those people who die without knowing about sacrificing for the sake of others, this is actually God's headache. So what shall we do? Tayo man ang nakakaalam ng principle, so what shall we do? So usually hell, most of our lecture in our HTM, kukunti lang yung time about explanation about hell. We usually talk about love, about sacrificing for the sake of others. And now when we hear about the story of hell, nakakatakot. But anyway, true parents taught us how to transform this hell into the kingdom of heaven. True parents taught us that we must teach the people about heart. Kasi lahat naman ng tao, all people have hearts. So we have to express to the people, tell them about heart, that the heart seeks partner and willing to love and love, sacrifice, willing to deny himself, give himself for the sake of others. Yan ang katangian ng heart. That is why we must taught to really live for the sake of others. Because that is the nature of heart. Hindi natin mapipigilan yung heart to love others. So we must live for the sake of others. Kung babaliktarin natin yan, for those who really sacrifice others for his own benefits, surely that man will go to hell. So if men understand about heart, the nature of heart, the heart really needs to live for the sake of others, I think walang pupunta sa langit. Walang pupunta sa hell. So when we live for the sake of others, which is the nature of heart, it is only through doing our HTM. Dahil sa HTM, we can really teach the people about living for the sake of others. And the living for the sake of others is not enough. We have to really receive the blessing. That is the eradication of our original sin, which we have inherited from our first human ancestors. And next is we have to really love God above all. How to love God above all? Hindi naman pwede natin mahalin ang God without object partner. So, God said, Jesus said, we have to love others. That is the prerequisite in loving God. When we love others, that is the way how to love God. Sino ba yung others na yun? That is, yung mga tao na kasama natin sa pagtulog, mga tao na kasama natin sa pagkain araw-araw, yung doon sa family. And then, next is we have this ancestral liberations. I think those points, yun lang ang reflection ko, no, how to really transform this hell into the kingdom of heaven. And that is to liberate God's miserable situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brother Philip. By the way, Brother Bal, who shared earlier, was a former missionary to Taiwan. He taught Tung Il Modo there, martial arts, and he also did some missions in CARP, the church, done a lot of fundraising missions. He was a leader in Iloilo City also, together with Brother Jun Flores. And Brother Philip Tripoli used to be one of our most devoted bus drivers. He used to be also with the headquarters staff, and he did a lot of things for headquarters, doing a lot of errands. So I'm very thankful that we are all still here. Two of us are already wearing glasses. Bal Tubalia, I think, is also wearing glass, but I think he hid it in his pocket. So moving on, I think we still have a few minutes for others' reflections. Do we have any volunteer? Let me see. I cannot see everyone. Gallery. Okay. Can you raise your hand if you want to share? Thank you, Kuya Dante, for eating. Also for other people. Jess Mariano is also present. Are you going to share? Please, who wants to share? We need more reflections. I think we still have enough time. Brother Jun Grada, you had a very good Jewel testifying for you and two parents. Very good. Kuya William, anyone? How about from our regional field job director? Okay. Brother William. My Manong William Enriquez. Okay, go ahead. Can you unmute yourself, Manong William?
Okay, okay na.
Okay, you have
Okay.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I would just like to simple, no?
Okay.
Kingdom of heaven is a place of love, peace, and harmony. And the opposite of heaven is hell. So the kingdom of hell or hell is the place where there is no love, and a place where there's always war and hatred. No? And then Father said, the kingdom of heaven is not given to us. It's not what we are given. But the kingdom of heaven is what we must make, or with what we must build or create. So because the kingdom of heaven is a place of love, peace, and harmony, we have to live that way. No? If you can live a life centered on love, not only love, but true love, we can be able to create peace with our brothers and sisters and the people outside, and we can live harmoniously. Then we are building the kingdom of heaven, as what Father has told us. In short, living for the sake of others by means of loving, making peace, and harmonizing with people. So thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Manong William. Okay, let's have one of our brothers, one of these most active and dynamic leaders of MIE, used to be the coordinator for second gen. Let's welcome Joey Andaya. Let's go, Joey.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday po sa lahat. I just want to reflect something on our situation here in Japan with the connection of the hell. As we all know, in Japan, there are lots of suicides in Japan because if their notion of dying is resting, because they don't have the concept of hell. That's why I reflect upon that if we could really tell them, witnessing is not just offering them to be a member of the Unification Church, but witnessing is just introducing to them who is God. It doesn't matter if they will be a member or not. I think so, because Japan, it is very hard to witness. But we should, I'm in my work, every time I visit trainees in my work and with my co-worker in Japan also, I always tell them about how God is aching during the COVID, and then because of the COVID, they don't have money already, and then Japanese people can just easily make suicide. And then why Christian doesn't cannot do suicide easily? Because we have this concept of hell. Diba, when we are still a child, we are always used with our religion. Even when we are still a child, our parents is telling them, okay, sige, gagawa ka ng magsisinungaling ka, nagpupunta ka sa impyerno. So, bata pa tayo, we already have this concept of hell, and we have this very contradictory to the heaven. So that's why Filipinos cannot just especially Christians cannot just have a decision to make adjustments of to committing suicides. Also, that's why my reflection today is, when we go out from our house in Japan, we always say it's very hard to witness in Japan. But I think witnessing is really not making them a member, but witnessing is really trying to introduce to them who is God. That's why Brother LA said we should really teach people about Godism, about the beauty of heaven, and then about the contrary of heaven, that is hell. That if you commit suicide, then you go to hell. So that is, I think that is the practical way. How can we witness in Japan? It's very hard to bring them to the church, to the unification, but we can witness to them by telling them the beauty of heaven and then the extreme of the hell. So I think that is our own little ways how we can also witness people in Japan. We should also lessen the percentage of committing suicide in Japan by telling them that if you commit suicide, there is a hell waiting for you. So, but at the end, it's not really, we should also tell to them the beauty of heaven. Not only just yung tinatakot natin sila, kasi parating tayong mga bata tayo, sige, magsisinungaling ka, pupunta ka sa impyerno, but we should tell to them the beauty of heaven. So if you do good things, then there will be a heaven. There will be a heaven waiting for you. So we should give them hope. We should, especially now in Japan, many, because of COVID, and then especially couples, when they stay together for a long period of time, then they will say, Corona recon. We usually hear in Japan, couples in Japan, they don't want to stay together a long time. That's why, because of they cannot do anything because the husband has no work and then the wife is no work. They stay together within the house and then they end up divorcing. Not like Filipinos. We are fond of staying together even though we don't have nothing to food. We have only one guitar, Kuya William, diba? We go together. We sing, we sing a song. So we should really introduce to them also the beauty of our culture, being happy, being together. So I think that is the best way. How can we do our mission here in Japan? Not just witnessing is. We would like to remind our field job. Not just witnessing is not just inviting them to join our movement, but we should witness the real meaning, the literal meaning of witness. Witness to our Japanese people about the heart of God, the beauty of heaven, and then the fear of going to hell. Thank you very much, and then good Sunday.
Thank you very much, Brother Joey, for that very good point about suicide problems in Japan. Japan's suicide or jisatsu is considered a major social issue. In fact, in 2017, we are the highest suicide rate among nations in the world. So it has gone down for quite some time. Like, for example, in 2016, we have 21,000. And in 2019, we have 20,169. It's still so many. And we do not want to be part of these statistics. So, and we do not want our friends, our families to be part of these numbers. So we need to really do our best. And we request all our Philippine brothers and sisters, all those God-loving people, to pray for the heart and spirit of the Japanese people. I think we need to proceed to the next part, which is the final message from the Vice President of the Asia Pacific Region 2. Let's welcome Dr. Julius Malikdim.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kuya Rafi, and to all our brothers and sisters, field jobs. We miss many of our elder brothers, sisters in Japan. Thank you sa sharing, no, ni na Kuya Bal, Kuya June, si Kuya William, and Brother Joey. So anyway, they are our great senior and elder brothers and sisters here in the Philippines, and we miss you. Thank you to our national leader. Today is Sunday, and it's great to receive this kind of guidance. Tama yung sabi ni Brother Joey, we were used to be told about heaven and hell. At sometimes, ginagamit pa yan na pantakot sa atin, right? So that's why, since we were young, we already know how to distinguish heaven and hell. And the more we understood the reality of heaven and hell, when we learn the divine principle, and then we are educated by our true parents. So that's why we're really grateful to our true parents. Sa totoo lang, nobody wants to go to hell, I'm sure, right? However, as True Father said, entering heaven or hell is not decided by by God or even by Satan. Entering heaven or hell is decided by the Spirit self. So when we think about this, then why is it that still many people go to hell? 95% of people who go to the spirit world go to the hell of hell. Why? Because there is order in the spirit world. You cannot deny who you are. There is complete transparency. Kumbaga, you cannot hide anything. So that is why you go to a place where you are suitable. No, even though you want to go to the higher place, to the brighter place in the kingdom of heaven, but you cannot stay there for long. So that's why hell is really opposite of heaven. In the kingdom of heaven, if the environment is true love, then it's the opposite in hell. The environment is self-centeredness, totally self-centered, as True Father said. Everybody is insisting that they are the best, always fighting, always conflict. So the question is, while we are on the earth, where are we preparing to go? Of course, we don't want to go to hell. But while we are on the earth, the place where we need to prepare, where are we preparing to go? Heaven or hell? So it is actually a question of whether we are living self-centeredly or we are living for the sake of others. So it looks like very simple, right? That is why, when we come to reflect on what True Father said, people cannot go out of hell. Kasi let's say many already are in hell. But True Father said, people cannot go out of hell on their own. They need help. No? They are like trapped there forever. They are like in prison, even though they want to go out, but they cannot do on their own. So that's why they need help. True Father also said, it is impossible to enter heaven without opening the gates of hell on the earth and in the spirit world. So actually, this makes sense, no? Because we cannot deny the existence of hell. Now, of course, everybody's longing for the kingdom of heaven, but we cannot also deny the reality of hell. That's why Father said, it is impossible to enter heaven without opening the gates of hell on the earth and in the spirit world. Only those who can overcome hell can enter heaven. Wow. So only those who can overcome hell can enter heaven. That means, We can see the model given to us by our true parents. That is why through the blood, sweat, and tears of our true parents, the gates of heaven and hell could be opened. Without the Messiah, without our true parents opening the gates of heaven and hell, then it's not possible for people in hell to go out there. So that's why did True Father start the providence of restoration? For example, where did True Father start the providence of restoration? He said, I started from the bottom of hell. So both in the spirit world and in the physical world. When True Father was in prison, he was also in hell in the spirit world. He was also subjugating many demons and many evils in the spirit world. And so based on this foundation of living in hell, sacrifice after sacrifice, persecution, rejection, and the True Father could finally open, not only open hell, but also open kingdom of heaven. And this is actually the grace of ancestors' liberation and blessing. Already Kuya Bal also mentioned about the importance of liberating and blessing our ancestors. Because, it gives us opportunity to help our ancestors to get out of hell. Not because we are qualified, but because of our true parents' victorious foundation. Kumbaga, when we represent true parents, then we can be able to parang tayo yung sasalo sa ating mga ancestors so that they can be qualified to get out of hell through liberation and blessing. So, many are thinking, I need to do HTM. I need to do Heavenly Tribal Messiah Mission. Why is it that doing HTM requires a lot of investment and sacrifice? Why is it not easy? Kasi kung madali lang, marami nang gumawa. But why it is not easy? Because we are paying indemnity. We are paying indemnity. It allows us to inherit true parents' victory. And then we become messiahs, tribal messiahs. True Father said, by fulfilling your mission as tribal messiahs, we are formulating views of heaven and hell. So we are formulating views of heaven and hell. You have to clearly distinguish. There is heaven, there is hell. So it's like we are guiding our ancestors where to go, where to bring them, whether in heaven or in hell. So why liberating hell or the spirit world is so important? True Father said, when the spirit world is put in order, the situation on earth can be resolved quickly. So that means, even though we're thinking of Chonilguk substantially on the earth, without liberating hell, without putting the spirit world in order, it is very difficult to put the earth in order. So that's why this, again, it elevates our understanding of why I need to do ancestors' liberation. Now, if we only know the reality of the spirit world, as I have mentioned, 95% of our ancestors are living in hell of hell, the bottom of hell. So that is why, however, through the grace of ancestors' liberation and ancestors' blessing, our ancestors can suddenly jump. They can suddenly jump and be qualified to enter the kingdom of heaven. Especially now, True Father is in the spirit world, so True Father enter kingdom of heaven. In the beginning, nobody can enter kingdom of heaven, even though some of our elders who are given the authority of our true parents, they can enter kingdom of heaven, but they cannot stay there. But now True Father is there. So that's why the blessing is really very important. That means anyone who belong to God's direct blood lineage, through the blessing, they can become God's direct children, right? So this is the power of the blessing. All blessed couples, blessed families. When you go to the spirit world, we will all go to a place higher than paradise. Okay? Higher than paradise. However, even True Father said, even we are in the realm of God's dominion, mayroon pa ring paradise for blessed families. That means we are not yet qualified to enter kingdom of heaven. But at least we are already in the dominion of God. And then there is also hell for blessed families. Below this paradise for blessed families. That means we have done something wrong, even though we received the blessing, but we have violated the principle, we have violated heavenly law. So still we are in hell, but still higher than paradise. Still we are in the realm of God's direct dominion. So that's why this is how valuable the blessing is, both for physical world and in the spirit world. That's why liberating and blessing our ancestors When they become blessed absolute good spirits, right? And then they can freely go down from spirit world, go down to here in the physical world, then they can freely help us. Because, you know, even though many of our ancestors wanted to help us, but they cannot do it without them being liberated and being blessed. That's why it's it's absolutely necessary to liberate and bless our ancestors. I think the purpose of this Hundukhe today, why we are again reminded of the reality of hell, because we don't want, no? When we think of our parents, when we think of our parents' parents, when we think of our ancestors, how many of them are still suffering in hell? That's why we need to do our best. It's not easy doing HTM vertical and horizontal. It's not easy, but this is the only way that we can support and help our true parents expand the realm of goodness, the realm of true love, and the realm of heaven, in the spirit world and in the physical world. That's why HTM, this mission, brothers and sisters, is the greatest mission. What mission is greater than this? We are like helping heavenly parents. We are like helping true parents fulfill the mission of liberating hell. So let's have a great and beautiful Sunday today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our dearest, humble, and very talented Kuya Dr. Julius. I would also like, before we do our closing prayer and individual prayers, I'd like to thank so much our national leader, Brother Leo, Asia Pacific Vice President Dr. Julius, for your precious guidance. Thank you also to all those who actively participated in this morning devotion from Philjap. Brother Roy, Rio, who read a message from True Mother, Jewel, Mayo singing in Sembo, and all those who share their reflections. I know we have so many things to share in this topic, but if we attend Hundukay or morning devotions every day, then we can still share some more. To proceed to our closing prayer, I would like to call on our Chunbo Philip Tripoli for the closing prayer.
Kuya, hello. In this triple ako kuya, not Tripoli. Hello. Okay, can you hear me? Good morning, brothers and sisters.
Sorry, it's Jira. Sorry.
Thank you, Kuya.
Okay.
Please join me in my prayer. Our beloved Heavenly Parents and true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. Today, we are so blessed that we could really receive your precious words to our national leader, Reverend Leo Halog. Heavenly Parents, true parents, your precious words is our daily bread that help us strengthen our spiritual life and set us free from the bondage of sin. Heavenly Parents, true parents, your precious words help us remove our fallen nature and help us live in accordance with the heavenly law and tradition. Heavenly Parents and true parents, your precious words help us win against all odds and help us overcome trials, temptations, and difficulties in our life of faith. Heavenly Parents and true parents, we are so deeply grateful with our leader that because of their great love to our brothers and sisters and because of their strong desire to really make a good condition, to create a heavenly environment, we could have this morning devotion. We are also grateful, Heavenly Parents and true parents, that in the midst of this pandemic, you have provided us this good communication that we could really reach out to all our brothers and sisters in every corner of the world through this morning devotion. Heavenly Parents, true parents, we pray for those in the midst of darkness that they may see light. For those who are in trouble, that they may attain peace and harmony. And for those who are sick, that they may be healed, so that they could carry on, Heavenly Parents, with the missions that you have given to them. Heavenly parents, true parents, we are so blessed that you have given us the blessing, that we have received the blessings of our true parents, and that we live in the era of our true parents, and we have the opportunity to really liberate our ancestors, to make them our absolute good ancestors, and keep them the blessings, Heavenly parents, true parents, and to liberate them from hell, Heavenly parents, true parents. We are really so fortunate to our true parents, God, who made a lot of sacrifices for us, Heavenly parents, to really bring many people and liberate many people, Heavenly parents, from hell. Heavenly parents, true parents, really pray, Heavenly parents, true parents, that we could really do our best to really do our mission, to really bring all our brothers and sisters, Heavenly parents, to the blessed of true parents, and really, God, establish your ideal, your kingdom heaven here on earth. Heavenly parents, true parents, may you bless each and every one of us with long life and good health, so that we may carry on with our missions that you have bestowed to us. And may we spend this day with a grateful heart, with a bright spirit, and that we may share, Heavenly parents, the blessings that we have received from you to all our brothers and sisters. 하늘 부모님, 참 부모님, 아버지 어머님, 감사합니다, 사랑합니다. 아리가또 고자이마스, 사이스티마스. I pray and offer this in my name. Iskara Takamatsu Central Blessed Family. Aju.
Thank you very much, Brother Jerwin Skira, for that profound, beautiful prayer, for your kindness and flexibility in this morning devotion. We will now have unison or individual prayers, everyone. Okay, brothers and sisters, thank you. We are going to now have our closing greetings to heavenly parents and true parents and to everyone. Good morning, our most loving heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, our Reverend Hori, Dr. Julius, Reverend Ronnie, and our national leader, Brother Leo. And good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this morning devotion. It's a beauty and it gives us